like Virginia, possibly coastal Maryland, maybe, North Carolina or so. North Coast, New South Wales. Now, this is more like Northern California. Southeast Queensland, South Florida. That makes sense. And far North Queensland, Northern Florida, and Alabama. I feel like this is probably somewhat accurate. And obviously it's for fun, but I feel like it's kind of a good way to grasp what different parts of Australia are like for me as an American. I like this map. It's kind of fun. And then if you want to go even further, here's some city matchups. Now, again, I would love to hear if you guys agree with these or disagree. It might be hard for people to even guess on this because if you haven't been to both places, like I haven't either, then it's kind of hard. But just kind of use your imagination with this. Sydney is compared to San Francisco, major harborside city, ridiculously expensive, warm climate, and iconic bridge landmark. I would probably say that Sydney probably has warmer weather. Parts of California are scorching hot, but most of the coast isn't, and especially San Francisco is up towards Northern California on the coast. It's really rainy there and pretty much never hot. Whereas, Los Angeles and San Diego, and then, of course, places inland way, in the southern end can get very hot. Just like I think Sydney. Sydney can get very hot sometimes, right? Now, this is a weird one. Melbourne compared to Seattle and also Chicago. Now, Seattle, Washington, I can see Melbourne's coastal. Seattle is coastal as well. Chicago is coastal, but it's not what you're thinking of. Chicago is coastal on a humongous Great Lake, Lake Michigan, of course. It may look and feel, honestly, like an ocean coast, but it's, of course, not technically an ocean. The Seattle one I can see making a little more sense, but how we relate these is really right here. Shitty weather, cool climate, almost painfully progressive, and hipsterish, lots of skyscrapers. Okay. Brisbane, Austin, Texas. Okay. I don't even know how to weigh in on that from either side. Adelaide, Salt Lake City. That's not what I would think of comparing it to, but who knows? Perth, San Diego. That one makes sense to me for some reason. They're both in the southwest corner of each country. They have great weather, and they're pretty laid back. I feel like that one is probably the best one out of all these. Canberra and Washington, D.C., and I guess that one makes natural sense as well. All right, now check this out. This is some pictures. We'll look at the comments as well. This is on in one of the interesting subreddits, and it's Sydney, Australia, pulling out all the stops for its new metro. Now, take a look at these. These are actually wild. So let's go to this view again. This place, to me, maybe this is normal for you. To me, this looks extremely fancy. I mean, this almost looks like something out of a movie or something. Look at how classy this is. Granted, I know these are taken with no people in them, right? So I guess it's like the best scenario for a picture. Obviously it's ultra clean and no people, but dude, it looks amazing, man. Look at this, like lighting and all the different materials, the floor, the escalators. Something really interesting also is right here. These escalators lead to what I would think would always say exit, but this actually says way out. I've never seen that in my life. I've always seen, signs leading towards an exit that just say exit even before the exit, right? So that's kind of interesting. Is that common in Australia? Another area here, I mean, to me, it just looks nice. Right. Of course, as an American, I'm not riding metro, a lot. Right. We're always driving our own stuff. But, the places I've been don't look like this. Let me just say that. I mean, this is insane. Look at all the different numbers. Just how it's presented. I think it looks incredible. Maybe it's only me. Maybe I'm geeking out for no reason here. I don't know. I think this looks amazing to me. Look at that, how tall those are, by the way. And it says way out. I just think that's wild. Barangaroo. I love that name. We've seen it come out. We've seen it come up in videos before. I mean, this looks like I'm entering a spaceship, dude. This looks like something straight out of a sci-fi movie for sure. Is this cool or what? I like it. Someone mentions in the comments it looks just like the Elizabeth line in London, except with a wood finish. Like they must have ordered it out of the same catalog. And someone says literally on the next comment down the same thing. Makes you wonder if the same designer has been involved. Now, I can't, of course, I can't weigh in on that. If you want to weigh in on that, I would love to hear. Apparently, this John McAslan and partners were the designers of the Sydney Metro stations, who also did the Bond Street station for the Elizabeth line in London. So apparently the same people were involved. That's why you get that similar aesthetic. I mean, of course, if this is how it looks in London, then that's gorgeous as well. This is just really well done. I like it a lot. And then finally, people mentioned, like, as a former Sydney resident of well over 30 years, I'm very much looking forward to this project being opened. It's one of those infrastructure projects that should have been built a long time ago. At a glance, it resembles the train stations in Singapore. And from what I've seen, I haven't seen much, but from the little I've seen, kind of random videos I've stumbled upon of Singapore, it usually looks pretty gorgeous there as well, like really high tech and kind of futuristic to me, at least, and clean. So that's, I'd say, probably good comparison. This is absolutely hilarious. We're looking at Wi-Fi routers in Australia, and you're thinking, why the hell are you looking at Wi-Fi routers, dude? What's the big deal? Well, a Wi-Fi router in Australia, that's the big deal right there. That's absolutely hilarious. Australia, where even the Wi-Fi can kill you. Biggest spider I've seen by a landslide. Tell me in the comments if you understood that one. It only has 6 legs, so it won't bite. B-Y-T-E. It's a black widow. Tell my Wi-Fi lover. Yeah, that thing is actually hilarious. And if that is real in Australia, I mean, that would just be so fitting. I freaking love it. We have a very quick highlight of, just a typical news story from one of these hilarious news outlets. Now, this isn't exclusive to Australia. Most countries have, pretty garbage news outlets that just run ridiculous stories, right? I think especially nowadays, that's definitely a thing here. And we have seen some real weirdo news stories and quite frankly, ridiculous headlines from some of the Australian news outlets as well. I'm sure you can agree to some extent. I'm just going to show this and move on. This is absolutely ridiculous. They're having a baby. Daily Mail Australia. Without telling me, my sister and my husband decided to, sleep together to get pregnant and surprise me that they're having a baby. And that's your Daily Mail Australia news flash highlights of the week. Now moving on to that, American that is asking for help on Reddit, of all places, right? To fellow Australians, what do they do? Let me give you the context. Seen in my rental car in Australia. I'm from America. What do I do? Well, let's show you. Well, I'm an American, so I can't help them. I don't know what the hell you do. I guess scream and run away is my guess what their first reaction was. If we analyze this further, I don't know what this crease is, right? Because this makes it look like there's maybe the A-pillar or something, or this is perhaps a back door, so this is like the C-pillar, right, sloping down towards the trunk. And we have this spider chilling on seemingly the window, right? But it's just confusing me because, the window, if it's all the way up, why would there be a seam here? So this almost makes it look like the window's rolled halfway down. But then I don't know what this thing is, resting on, right? So, that's a little bit confusing. But either way, that thing is huge. I am sure most Australians watching this are laughing, saying, oh, that's just, another Tuesday. What's the big deal? But yeah, to an American, this would absolutely make my skin crawl. So I wouldn't know what to do because I think seeing them on a car or in your car is a whole nother story compared to seeing them in a house, right? Oh, man, that's freaky. That's freaky stuff. And we have more people walking their, I don't know what you call it. Their animals, their pets. They seem to be a lot of different things. I know walking your dog is quite a normal thing worldwide, right? But not in this case. Last video I did on stuff like this, I don't know, a week or two ago, we saw an Australian walking his goose around. Yeah, you heard that, right? And everyone was, getting a huge kick out of it. This guy is walking his goat. Her name is Tilda, and she was going to the dog wash. Hello, Tilda. She's a cutie. She looks very well groomed. And there you go. People are